Hallelujah, dear friends. I finally have the fog of this this flu gone. Finally. I told a friend of mine it's like a cross between death and schizophrenia. It's the weirdest thing, but I'm back and I'm glad to be with you. And I want to talk about some good stuff tonight, and I want you to be smart, and I want you to be aware, and I want you to be able to go out and tell others what's going on. I want you to make them understand the way it is. Do me a favor, reject everything you hear from everybody. It's a regurgitation of the obvious. Did you see this thing today? Mediaite came up with the 75 biggest, most impressive news media. Joe Rogan was 24. I don't know what happened just now, but pardon me, I don't know what that is. But anyway, welcome, one and all. Before I forget, let me tell you something right now. I return to the cutting room, on February the 3rd. It's just around the corner. I have not been on stage, and I have not got the chance to meet with you. Cutting room is a storied. It's probably the best venue for what we do. It'll be the chance to talk, but also, and here's the most important thing: it's not stand up. I hate stand up. It's talking, discussing, lecturing, but give and take. I hand out cards, and we respond. It's like this beautiful accordion kind of a give and take. So February the 3rd, please join me. Tickets are on sale. Nobody does it like I do. May not be the best, may not be perfect, but nobody does what I do. Nobody. You're not going to see any comedian go on TV and say, yeah, throw questions at me. Hit me with a zinger. Throw a few, curveballs at me. Let me see if I can, just surprise me. Wing it. What? We're going to talk about that. Okay, so a couple of things. First, we have to get to the bottom again of this idiocy involving taking President Trump off of the list, off of the primary, because of his alleged and putative violation of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. We'll go through this. I'll explain to you. And I also, what I want to do, rather than just talk about stuff, I want you to be able to learn something, so that when you meet your pain in the ass friends, you can say, well, here's something you don't know. Here's something you don't know. Look at this. Liz Solak says, it's a cozy venue. You damn right, Lizzie girl. It's a cozy venue. It's great. Okay? Anyway, so let's talk about that. A couple of things first. Please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. I can't tell you. So many people sometimes still have not subscribed, and I don't know what that is about. Why? I have no idea. And also understand that we have sponsors that are critical sponsors. And the one that I feel so, I keep thinking about this, man, especially now, Christmas time. It's, I'm telling you, mypillow.com. Look at what this guy, let me just tell you about this. I'm not going to do it. Let me just go through this list. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Look what you, just look at this stuff, or mypillow.com/Lionel. Giza Dreams bed sheets, $29.98. MyPillow 2.0, King and Queen, $39.98. This is the Cadillac of pillows. My Slippers, My Store, 50% off of Mike's all new My Towels, kitchen towels, mattress toppers, overstock sales, My Pillow foam mattress. Forget whatever you have before. Buy one of these things. You don't need a new mattress. Just put one of these foam doohickey on it, and it's like you're luxuriating on a cloud. My Pillow slide sandals, My Pillow plush blankets, My Pillow beach towels. Beach towels, yes, you heard me. The complete mattress sleep system, My Pillow 3-inch mattress toppers, down blankets, women's sleepwear. It goes on and on and on, and it's a great gift. Okay, and if you use your name, promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. I know what you're thinking. I know. Aren't gifts free? Yes, they are. It's a tautology. What are you going to do about it? MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Thank you for that, dear friends. Now, a couple things. This morning, we talked about this, and if in case you weren't here this morning, my question is, if somebody were to say to you, there he is, hang on a second. Veritas 464 says, hey, Mr. Nation, good day from down under. Have I missed much? Have you missed much? No. But I'm so glad. God bless the Aussies. God bless you. And thank you very much for your kindness. Dear, dear friend, Mr. Veritas. Truth, Veritas. Let me ask you a question. If I ask you, is it possible for the president, would it be proper to exclude him from the ballot based upon the 14th Amendment, Section 3? What would you say? What would you say? What would you say? Come on. Tell me. What would you say? What would you say? Now, I mean, think like a lawyer. What would you say? Let's wait. Nope. Why, though? Why? Don't just say no, but say why. Tell me why. Why? Why can you not do that? Why is he ineligible for removal? Why? 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 Trump is a Democrat. Lionel, nothing will happen to him. Okay. Who owns Congress? Case of presidential eligibility starting with a fact-finding trial. No. Those were fighting. No. Nope. Come on. What are you just guessing? Hasn't been proven guilty? Don't have to be proven guilty. Maybe. What's the thing I always tell you? Dear class? What do I always tell you? Veritas, what do I tell you? He never held office. What? Trump never held office. You better put that cough syrup down. By the way, did some NyQuil the other day. Hey. In the White Room. All right. Not indicted. Don't have to be. I love this. You're just throwing stuff out there. Not indicted. I like when Lionel puts his lawyer hat on. Yes. What's the thing that we do? What do we always do? Federal rules, not state? Nope. Well, yeah, maybe if Trump was not an officer, he was a president. Steve was listening this morning. Come on, it's your country. Let us read this, shall we, my friends? Let's read this. Read this very, very carefully. Let's read this together. Shall we? Let's read Section 3. Okay? And I can pick my teeth. Do this. No person. Now listen to me. Follow along. No person shall be a senator. That's not it. Or representative in Congress, or elector of president and vice president, or hold any office, there we go, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who, listen carefully, so that's Trump, that part of it has been satisfied, who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress? No. Did he take an oath as an officer of the United States? No. Did he take an oath as a member of any state legislature? No. Did he take an oath as an executive or judicial officer of any state? No. Well, he's not eligible under this. He's not, maybe an officer. He's not an officer. So right off the bat, that's it. But let's assume it were to follow. It says, shall have engaged in insurrection. So do you see how this works, dear friend? Do you see how this works? Two things. He had to have taken an oath before. President's not in there. Now, this was after Civil War. This was after Reconstruction. This was, and then later on, there were the amnesty statutes that gave, like, Jefferson Davis, I think he was granted amnesty like in 1978. They took their time. But that's the thing. Now, here's another question. This is even more arcane. Let's look at Section 4. Section 4, read this with me. This is under the same statute. This is post Civil War, post Reconstruction. The validity of the public debt of the United States, authorized by law, including debts incurred for payment of pensions and bounties for services in suppressing insurrection or rebellion, shall not be questioned. Okay? I like that. How about keep going? But neither the United States nor any state shall assume or pay any debt or obligation incurred in aid of insurrection or rebellion against the United States. Well, I don't think not. Or any claim for the loss of emancipation of any slave. Do you understand what that means? This reinforces the idea that this is about the Civil War. It's not about anything else. Section 4 within the within this particular parameter, Section 4, this is exactly what we're talking about. Do you hear what I'm saying? Now, the issue you have and the issue that you may want to consider, look at this Veritas again. God bless you. Veritas says, sound the clarion, strike up the fife, and throughout this sensual world proclaim one crowded hour of glorious life is worth an age without a name. Thy name is revolution. God damn, that's beautiful. That is excellent. Thank you. Thank you. That is beauteous. Beauteous Maximus. That is beauteous. I love that. Let me get rid of that. Okay, there we go. Now let me ask this question. You are going to hear people suggest, and it's happening in New York, it's going to happen everywhere. And what do you think is going to happen? It's going to take whatever lust for Trump, I can't think of no other word, and elevate it to a level nobody could even imagine. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to that, you have to ask ourselves, what is the intention? Was it, and this is where Nino Scalia and the originalists come into, what was the intention? Do you think that it would be the province, or that the drafters of the Constitution would have ever countenanced or allowed there to be any, what's the word? How do I say this? Do you think there would have been any intention to have the franchise, the vote subverted by the ability to say, I think you committed an insurrection or a rebellion? Why? I just do. Are you going to have an individual fact finder determine that? No. Is this statute self-executing? Yes. You mean it's just in place? Yeah. So I can do this too. Oh no, you can't do it. No, wait. I think that when Kamala Harris stood before the people and said that she was in support of those individuals, those rioters, those individuals who were who were involved in the George Floyd riots, the BLM riots, the whatever. I think those were grand Americans. That's what I think. Really? Well, I think you committed an insurrection yourself. Why? Well, because you are aiding, abetting, counseling, procuring, hiring. You are, in essence, you are an accomplice. You are an accomplice to what amounts to, what actually is, the same thing you claimed that President Trump did. And what did President Trump do? Nothing. Did he say, I want you go over there, go to that White House, the Capitol, and you get that bastard, that guy, that Mike Pence, and you better drag his ass out here, and make sure you better do this, Mike, or there's going to be hell to pay. Now that would be something. That's not what he said. It's not what he said at all. Not even close. What exactly did he do? What did the president do to incite, or, and by the way, they didn't say incite insurrection. They say commit insurrection. They said that he had to commit insurrection. He was committing it. Do you hear what I'm saying? What did the president do? Now, insurrection, there are these words. There is a fellow, by the way, there was a I think it was called channel. It was on my loop. It was called Legal Eagle or something like that. And he kept using the word sedition. Now, wait a minute. Hold it. People are using words, and they use these words, and they think that all the words are, well, you know what I mean. No. There are some times when these words are very, very critical, and they mean something in particular, and you just get, there's sedition, there's rebellion, there's insurrection, there's treason. Oh, a lot of people love, he's a traitor. No, he's not a traitor. They're not a traitor. He's a traitor. No, traitor is giving aid and coming. They didn't even get the Rosenbergs on traitor. See, nobody. If I teach you one thing, read the statute. Read the statute. Let's have some fun, shall we? Let me see this. Treason. Federal law. Very simple. 2381, 18 USC 2381. Whoever owing allegiance to the United States levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death or imprisonment and fined and incapable of holding office. What does that mean? Whoever owing allegiance to the United States, is that us? Okay, a citizen. Levies war against them, the United States, or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. What does that even mean, aid? Come on. Comfort. Oh, poor Viet Cong. Oh, I don't even know what that means. I never have. Remember, what's his name? Robert. You know what I mean? The FBI agent Robert, whatever his name is. The Rosenbergs. They weren't charged with treason. They were charged with espionage, things like that. Treason is the worst. It's this terrible charge. You don't want to charge people with treason, but we use it all the time. Read the statute. How about this? Insurrection. Federal law, right? This is what's great about Google. What does this mean? 18 U.S. Code, 18 U.S.C. 2383. Rebellion or insurrection. Listen to this one. Whoever incites, sets on foot, excuse me, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined. But it doesn't tell you. What do you mean? What is a rebellion? What is a rebellion? What? Huh? What does a rebellion mean? Well, let's look. Rebellion, federal law. See how we're breaking this down? Rebellion or insurrection is a federal offense that criminalizing, inciting, engaging in, or giving aid and comfort, there you go, to any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States. A rebellion is usually an organized, armed, and often violent resistance to government authority. What does that mean? Resistance to authority. That means, no, you're not going to do something, as opposed to, hey, you do something. Is that a rebellion? Do the right thing, Congress. Don't certify that vote. Trump won. Biden didn't. Is that a rebellion? You're saying, no, I don't think he won. Don't say that. Why can't I say that? Because why? Don't. It's the most ridiculous. It's bullshit. You mean to tell me I can't say anything? Rebellion, look at it. It's engaging in giving aid or comfort to a rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States. A rebellion is usually an organized, armed, and often violent resistance to government authority. I'm not resisting authority. Get your hands off me. No, I'm not gonna be drafted. No, I'm not gonna follow these laws. That's kind of resistance. You're saying affirmatively, we reject these findings. Why can't you say that? Why is that a rebellion? Now, once you trespass, let's assume nobody went into the White House or the Capitol. What would happen then? What would happen? Here's one thing, sedition. Now, this is a good one. Excuse me. Sedition often includes subversion of a constitution, an incitement of discontent towards or insurrection against established authority. Oh, give me a break. What does that even mean? That's what I want to do. I want to incite discontent. According to the U.S. Code, sedition is a crime that involves two or more people conspiring to overthrow the U.S. government by force. This includes destroying the government. You think that guy with the iPad, you think the Proud Boys are going to destroy it? Opposing government authority? Well, yeah, I oppose this plan on validating this vote, preventing the application of the law. Okay, now that's it. That's an interference. That's interfering with the certification of the statute. That could be taking U.S. property without authority. Okay. Sedition is probably, excuse me, sedition is one of those things that probably makes the most sense of them all. Veritas says, oops, hope no one paid me credit for the quote. The credit didn't stick in the message. Here it is from The Call by Thomas Osbert Mordaunt. I love it. Thank you for that. No, we're not. Listen, I know you're smart, but I figured that it did have a certain degree of verbal antiquity to it. And then, that's not a rebellion. That's a writ of mandamus. Writ of mandamus, where you are to do something. Writ of mandamus, this is in law called the extraordinary writs. Writ of prohibition, writ of mandamus, quo warranto. By what authority do you do that? Excuse me, why are you doing that? That's an extraordinary writ. This is not, to me, when I think of resistance. You know, I was watching today, Veritas, you might remember this. There was a smiling, I'm guilty of sedation. You and the Ramones. I was watching the 1968, the Chicago Convention, right? And William Bay, and they were just rioting and they were fighting the cops, and even though a party, the convention, a political party's convention is not necessarily an act of government, it is, I think one could certainly say, it is the interruption of an event that is occurring. And the bottom line is simply this: Donald Trump didn't do any of this. It's not because I like him. It's not because I want him to win. I do. He just didn't do it. He didn't do it. And I'm sorry. And we can't pretend he did something wrong. We can't pretend he violated the law, because Mediaite doesn't like him. And this is going to do nothing but make him this Kevlar bulletproof god, this political juggernaut that is going to kick everybody's ass. And what they're doing is they're trying to condition you to be afraid of marching, arguing. You're shaking your fist and saying, we've been robbed, we've been screwed, we've been, I can think of tell me how anybody who was talking about can look at the George Floyd riots, Antifa, targeted urban shock troops, domestic terrorism, organized, choreographed, specifically constructed groups and swaths and swarms of humanity to do violence, destroy property, hurt, mangle, maul, even kill. You tell me that's not insurrection or rebellion? I'm tired of this. I am tired of this. And every time I think I cannot want this guy, I want Trump for president for 50 reasons. One, we need it. I did a show today. It's a very, very, very interesting show. And I had a wonderful time, and I enjoyed thoroughly this. Let me see here. This wonderful piece, if you will. And it was a very interesting thing. It was a great piece with a fellow named Clayton Morris from the show Redacted. And it was wonderful. And I had a great, great time. Very good show. Very good. Very smart. Very intelligent. Very, very good. And I said, and I think Clayton appreciated it. I said, you got to understand this. And you've heard me say this before. Trump is chemotherapy. He's radiation. He's this thing that you only use when the patient is dying. He's chemotherapy. You only use this in the case of the patient who is dying. You may not need Trump when things are okay. Things are never okay. But in order for us to completely redirect, reroute, refocus, remark, re-aim, re-trajectory, whatever, the path of the government, we need him to go in and blow this thing up, figuratively. We need him to go in and raise holy hell and to cause what is called a shitstorm. It's the official word for it. And to cause a cacophony, an absolute, this concatenation of this political explosion where people are screaming and because he's back. And when he wins, he is to have no inauguration, no parties, no guests. He's going to go in and he's going to start signing stuff. And he's not going to hold them up like he did last time. Like, look, I signed my first order. No. He is going to start to, he's going to have things. He is going to unravel, unhinge, derail, disconnect all of this inherent, that selective, that horrible federal system that keeps these corrupt vermin in office for years. Veritas says Trump is the dose of salt the people wish to administer to the government. Like any purgative, it is not always pleasant. However, it is absolutely necessary for a clean and functional system of government, in my humble opinion, and I agree with you 100%. And I love the purgative emesis, the physic. We need a physic. It is so clear. It is so clear. Now, it's not without a problem. Not without problems. Not without a hiccup here and there. That's okay. I can take a hiccup. Edie Crowley says, does not the preamble make room for rebellion against perceived despotism? Interesting. Does not the preamble make room for rebellion against perceived despotism? It's a very good question. In every situation there is, it is presumed, it is understood that you have an affirmative duty to resist subjugation, criminality. There is something called necessity. And necessity is a wonderful defense. This necessity is the defense that says, oh, I did it, but here's why. It's like an affirmative defense. It's like the insanity defense. Have you ever been driving on the road and you will say, oh my God, we're going on the wrong street. Well, just pull into this driveway and let's go the other way. You know, that's trespass. You're committing trespass. Did you know that? You're entering in the property of another without permission. There's no excuse for, you can't drive in somebody's driveway. You can't do that. You can't go and park your car and somebody else's. But you can say, but I had to do this in order to turn around and go the other way. See, it's almost like an easement. I had to do this. Escape from a prison is illegal unless the prison is on fire. Then you have the excuse of necessity, the defense. Years ago, there were people who, Amy Carter, I think, when they were trying to attack missiles or violate. They're trying to hammer the nose cones of rockets or something. And they try to implement or use the defense of necessity in order to prevent wars. Okay, whatever. Well, I think that when somebody is saying this, that if we see that somebody is trying to basically take over our country, we can use the defense of necessity to explain that which we are doing. My friends, again, I ask you, please make sure you're subscribed to this channel. And also remember one thing, which is so important, dear friends. It's so critical right now for you to remember that as we talk about Gaza and we talk about the people who are under attack, however you want to look at it, food insecurity is one of the claims you always hear. Food insecurity, aka starvation, the inability to eat. You have got to take it upon yourself to take advantage of this incredible offer, to go to preparewithlionel.com and to have in your garage or your closet or something these beautifully little modular, beautifully crafted buckets with this food that will save your life with a 25-year shelf life. Listen to this. They can't handle the truth, but you can. The truth is the clowns running this joint live for chaos. And many of our problems could be solved overnight, but they let them be. Destruction fuels them. If you can handle that truth, you need to visit my website, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. You'll get $60 off a much-needed 4-week emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. The country's largest preparedness company, My Patriot Supply, is your fighting chance at survival. Sealed inside rugged packaging, these delicious meals last up to 25 years and provide over 2,000 calories a day. Think about that. Eat right in emergencies with this 4-week food kit from My Patriot Supplies. At this low price, you can get one for everyone in your family. Visit preparewithlionel.com. Write this down. Commit it to memory. Preparewithlionel.com. Order by 3 p.m. for free same-day shipping. Prepare right now at preparewithlionel.com. One more time. Preparewithlionel.com before total chaos ensues. Indeed, my friends. Indeed. Let me say that to you. I will tell you that There's so much that we should be talking about in addition to the regular things right now. But anytime we can read, the statutes, anytime. Let me give you an example of something. I had a client recently, and I love doing this. Had a case where a client is a lessor of an apartment, and all of a sudden the ceiling caves in. Okay. Now, if I were to go to you and say, okay, research it, where would you start? How do you think? What are the issues, you ask? What is the lessor's, the landlord's, the whatever, what is their duty to maintain repairs? What are the defenses that they would have? What does the law say regarding your state? Anybody ever have this case before? You're in a golf club, like a driving range, and all of a sudden this ball flies over and cracks your windshield. Who's liable? Anybody? Is there assumption of risk? Is that the risk that you assume when you go to a place where they're swinging balls around? I mean, or is it incumbent upon the owner of the range to cordon off the area with screens to prevent errant? These are just things. Read the statute. Read the thing. What does it say? When you're charged with speeding, go to the statute. Read what it says. Read what it takes you no time whatsoever. Ask yourself. We used to ask the question, what is a natural born citizen? Is Barack Obama a natural born citizen? And it appears by all information that, yes, he submitted something and they said, well, that's it. Yes, but Joe Arpaio said, well, I don't know about Joe Arpaio. Yes, but somebody said that the short form, well, maybe that hasn't been determined. Yes, but, excuse me, you are reading too much into this. It says he provided something. That seems to be, if you want to rebut that, go ahead. What about Ted Cruz? He was born in Canada. How does that work? People say, well, it's okay. You know, his parents are, wait a minute. What do you mean his parents? What does that have to do with anything? Do we just, how come we're not talking about Ted Cruz? How about Obama? We're going crazy with him. Wow. Here is a question I have. Whenever somebody talks about there are men who are participating in women's sports. Anybody read the statute? Anybody read the regulations? What does it say? What does it say? You got male division, female division. Go ahead and read the statute. Does it define male and female? No. What happens when you have a word? What happens when you have a concept? It doesn't specify it because nobody thought to say, well, do we have to say woman? Do we have to explain what that means? You can take judicial notice. You can take usually accepted terms. And one of the best stories we had years ago was there was a guy in Florida named Pat Whitaker, this famous trial. He was like just legendary. You'd always find some little loophole. And there was a guy who was charged with, my ichthyology is wrong, but it's either was he catching mullet out of season or a fish or something. Anyway, to make a long story short, a fish, he proved that a mullet is a bird because it has a gizzard versus a whatever it was. And he said a fish is defined as such and such, ichthus, that has whatever, And the mullet is a bottom feeder kind of, and it eats gravel and whatever. So anyway, he said that a mullet is a bird, and they would dismiss the case. That's it. I told you about the case where I was charged with somebody, represent somebody who was charged with throwing broken glass, which makes no sense whatsoever, but that's what the statute said. What does it mean? Statutes, read them. Assault. What if I said to you, if you come over here one more time, I'm going to kick your ass. If I see you near my daughter again, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to hurt you. Is that assault? Yes or no? Now you're going to answer the question, but you've got to tell me why. Why yes, why no? Think about this. If I see you with my daughter, if I see you wherever you are, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and kick your ass. You understand that? If I see you. Anybody? Anybody? Well, guess what? Verbal threat, yes. Jenny's getting close. Is it a threat? What kind of threat, Jenny? What kind of threat? What kind of threat? I don't know. Assault is an attempted battery or a present unconditional threat to do bodily harm or use force with the apparent ability to do so. Meaning I can't be in a wheelchair and say, why you, I can't get up. I can't. But it's a non-conditional. I made a condition. If I see you, if you see my daughter, if you come back. Now, don't try this. Please, I'm not going to take any legal responsibility for this. But where I'm from, that is a condition, and that is not assault. That's something else. That's like a promise, whatever. Assault is immediate. I'm going to do this now. Now. What if I went up to something like this? Imagine this is your arm and went up like this. You barely even touched it. Is that battery? Veritas says technical assault possible. Battery by harassment and intimidation. Nope. We'll get to that in a moment. It's very interesting. Is this battery? Battery in many jurisdictions is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in the county jail. Is that battery? Yep. The impermissible touching of another against their will. Do they have to know about it? Does it have to be offensive? Does it have to be offensive? No. I can do something behind you. I can do something terrible to you. You can be knocked out. You can be under anesthesia and I can, charge you. That's battery. Well, you didn't know what I was doing. There's all these little things. These people do this all the time. Robbery. They robbed my house. No, they didn't. They burglarized your house. What? They burglarized. You can only rob a person. Robbery is assault plus larceny. Think about it in terms of mathematics. It's the kind of a linear. It's larceny plus assault. Remember assault before? The placing somebody in fear of immediate harm, blah, 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 blah. Now, add to that, taking something. Okay, so let's say somebody's walking down the street. They look over. Woman's got a gold chain. He reaches over, grabs it, and takes off running. Is that robbery? Nope. That's theft. Why? Because the force that you exhibited, the force you used, didn't scare them, didn't assault them. It was just used to yank the chain off. The person didn't even know what you were doing. Just like I can't rob you when you're asleep. Robbery is this. Give me your money. Give it to me now. Either strong arm or armed. That's robbery. And you only rob a person, not a house. Now, what about this? Burglary. Burglary. I'm going to say, see that house? Yeah. I'm going to go in there. We're going to steal some stuff. Yeah, let's go. Great. And we drive right up to we cross we get on the front lawn and we're just about to go to the front and I trip and I fall and I'm apprehended. Is that burglary? What? Is that burglary? No, I never went into the house. You don't have to go in the house. What? You don't have to go in the house. You don't have to go in the house to commit burglary? No. Well, wait a minute. There's this wonderful thing in common law called the curtilage. And the curtilage is the area that is immediately surrounding the property. And it's the area that allowed you to, where you could fire an arrow to defend the property. So theoretically, good luck with this one. No prosecutor's going to take this to court, but technically speaking, you don't have to. Burglary is re-entering or remaining in the property, the structure, the property, the structure, dwelling, or conveyance of another. Enter or remain. You don't have to break and enter. A common law was at night, and you had to intend to commit a felony. Most jurisdiction is you got to commit. I'm going in there with the intent of doing something, hurting you, killing you, stabbing you, raping you, stealing from you. Not just going in. If my intention is let's just go in to get out of the rain, then that's trespass. And as long as I break the curtilage in my attempt to, that's it. Veritas says, robbery with a weapon is robbery under arms. I like, was that, maybe that's right, that's, I'm sure that we have the same common law. That sounds like an Australia thing. Let me ask you one, Veritas. Here's one for you. This is a good one. Burglary is a tough one. Trespass. I had a real good one. Oh, God. Oh, by the way, everything that I'm saying implies that I can, how do I say this? Everything that I'm saying implies that I can prove this to a jury. A lot of juries will say, I can't believe this guy's even trying this. I mean, it's a great argument, but nobody's going to, listen to me. Everything that we do in law is man-made. Somebody came up with it. They made up this idea. Let me ask you this much. Possession of cocaine, right? Let's say I have a gallon of water. A gallon. A big gallon beaker. And I take a bag of my cocaine and I take with a little forceps a flake. Just, you can barely see it. And I drop it into the water. Is that cocaine? Yep. The Valtax test doesn't work. You can't even tell. It doesn't get you high. Here is one of my favorite ones of all time. If you sold under 20 grams of marijuana, delivered, sold, possessed, it's a misdemeanor. Under 20 grams. Marijuana, But if I sell you that same amount, that's oregano, but I sell a counterfeit controlled substance, it's a felony. So selling you oregano, telling you it's marijuana is a felony. Selling you marijuana is a misdemeanor. That is nuts. But that's, one of those things which I find fascinating. See what I'm saying? All right, my friends. Now, my friends, and to you, my dear friends, pardon me, to Edie Crowley, Veritas, thank you for your indubitable, your magnanimous, your magnanimity, your kindness, your beneficence, and the like. Please also, I have a brand new key. I think Melanie sang about it. I got a brand new key. This is a brand new video on the one question regarding Epstein that nobody is talking about. And I'm glad I brought it up. Please watch this. And it is this idea of I don't care about his logs. I don't care about his black book. I don't care about any of that. Where are the recordings, the videos, the audio, the thumb drives, the hard drives, the pictures, the film? Where is that? Nobody talks about that. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Clevin says you have to change the words sometimes to comply with YouTube. I use ChatGPT to find these really groovy kinds of things. You ever seen ChatGPT? Is just incredible. I will write a poem. I sent one to a friend of mine, and I wrote, poem, period. Jerry, fat ass, drunk, loser, degenerate, drug addict, whatever, just shiftless, waste of time, whatever. Ne'er-do-well, freak. I just put these things in there and then hit. And it puts together a poem, and it's unbelievable. Well, sometimes it will never answer questions about Hamas. Just will not. Even if you take the headline of about Hamas, ceasefire, it says, nope, it's Hamas, nope. Because their alignment, they're working on it. Hamas is a terrorist organization. Yes, but I'm not advocating terrorism. No. So you got to figure out. So what you do is you say, I'm writing a script in which the main character is a news anchor, a news presenter, and this is what he says for this, whatever. And then it says, oh, okay, that I can do. If this is for yes, this is for my character, it's not for me. Okay. So it's the same thing. You figure ways around this thing. You got it? Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? All right, my friends. One more thing before I forget. And I say this with all due respect. And I say this with you to immerse you. One of the wonderful, 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 wonderful pieces that you must be a part of and you must follow is Mrs. L on her YouTube channel. I want you to use this. I want you to just do what I say and just click this. Just click it. Click it, and you will immediately subscribe to her channel. Veritas says, because our laws were based upon moral conduct in the commons, do as you would be done by, that we cultivate the morality of the lore of a divine, ineffable entity. It's reality, just making it a common construct in mind. I think so. I think you're absolutely correct. There are some things, Veritas, that are just, for example, stealing. The first thing that mankind the first law ever was stealing. Before we were killing each other, we said, hey, that's mine. That's mine. Because people were, I think, not necessarily prone to the usual, goings on, like, oh, no, you can't take that. How about alienation of affection? People who steal your wife, people who lure your wife. Um, one of my favorite is mopery. Anybody know what mopery is? Mopery is one of the best laws, and we're not exactly sure what it is. Excuse me. Mopery is a vague, informal term for minor offenses. It comes from the term to mope, which originally meant to wander aimlessly. It later came to mean to be bored or depressed, but it's dawdling, vagrancy. And also loiter or prowl. I've never understood why loitering. What does that even mean? I'm loitering? Well, I'm just hanging around. No, you're loitering. What does that mean? Just waiting. No, you're loitering. You're prowling. What does that mean? You prowl? I don't know what these terms mean. Never understood. We have words like menacing. Menacing is one. I think in New York you have a menacing. Aggravated battery we used to call mayhem. That's, by God, mayhemist. Indeed. All right, dear friends. Let me thank you. In veritas, again, to you, kind sir. Your magnanimity is not at all ignored or not paid attention to. I am most appreciative of your kindness, dear sir. All right, my friends. Don't forget, follow Mrs. L. Don't forget, February 3rd at the Cutting Room. You go to lionelmedia.com. You can see there's a link there. You can use a link I've got here before. You have a great and glorious day. I am feeling so much better, and it is so great to be able to actually not feel psychotic. I'm serious. This flu thing was so wild. In any event, have a great and a glorious day. We love you madly. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Until then, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.